Mayor Chesley,
Here.
Vice Mayor Rice,
Here.
Councilman Albright,
Here.
Town Manager Hicks.
Here. Tonight we have two sets of minutes on the agenda for approval. The March 10th town meeting minutes and the March 24th work session minutes. Are there any corrections or additions?
I had none.
I move that the minutes be approved as presented then.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. The minutes will be approved as presented. Next, we have reports of officers and boards. First, we have the permits report. Annie, will you read the permits report?
March 2014, building permits. March 19th, Deanna Welch, 306 Perrin Lane for a fence. Use and occupancy permits. March 14th, Dirk's Designs renovated existing single-family dwelling at 1 Jenkins Drive. There were no temporary use and occupancy permits and no demolition permits. Grading permits. March 19th, Deanna Welch, 306 Perrin Lane, removed 5 trees to be replaced. March 21st, Dale Cervetnik, 10 6th Street, removed 4 trees to be replaced. There were no sign permits during the month of March.
Thank you. Are there any questions on the permits report?
No.
Then we'll move on to the finance report. Ginger?
Finance report for March 2014. Beginning balance, $341,258.06. Total revenues, $100,104.17. Total expenditures, $226,253.38, with the ending cash balance of $215,108.85. Total investments are $1,226,292.96.
Next, we have the town manager's report. The fire chief isn't here, so he's going to do the town manager will do the town manager's report, code enforcement report, planning commission, economic development, and the Bureau of Fire Prevention reports.
Get paid extra tonight. Town Manager's Report, March 2014. Please have your trash curbside by 7:30 a.m. on the day of your scheduled pickup. New members are still needed for the Economic Development Commission, Board of Zoning Appeals, and Ethics Commission. The town's annual audit is complete. Public Work has begun the work along the connector trail. A portion of the trail is paved. We hope to have that work completed this month, and I always say weather permitting, hopefully no more snow. Work on the town's website is well underway. Work on next year's budget is underway as well. Public hearing will be held on the 10th at 7 p.m. There's no increase in fees, utility fees that is, water, sewer, trash, and no increase in property taxes.
Everybody clap.
I was hoping so. All right, thank you. The Trailhead Plaza on the Village Green, that work will begin this month. Bathrooms at Manley Park are now open for the season. The town is looking into toters for recycling and trash, the 95-gallon toters that you see that the county has. Town is looking into getting those as well. The Kayak and Canoe Shop located at the end of Manley Avenue will be open this month. Grassmasters will begin cutting the grass for the season this week. Status of the boardwalk. SHA has finished their review and will be providing the town with a few comments. And last but not least, the Washington Gas line. Washington Gas is installing a gas line through town, and it's going to be making its way onto the base. There's going to be 2 separate lines, one for the town and one for the naval base. Code enforcement report, March 2014.
Of the gas line. How would you connect up to the one for the town? Did you have to pay to connect up to that?
Yes, sir.
I mean, you have to pay to actually have a pipe on your own property to connect into it?
Mm-hmm.
And how, is it just going to be one line through the town, or do you have to?
There's one major gas line coming through the town, yes.
And so they're not going to be that, so you have to actually pay to actually connect from your house all the way down?
All the way to the lateral, if somebody else hadn't already done that prior to.
All right.
So we don't have all the particulars on that just yet. I want to put the cart before the horse, but that's pretty much how it's going to go. Code enforcement report, March 2014. The town issued 29 notices of violations during the month, 1 vehicle violation, 1 trash and debris, 1 work performed without a permit, and 26 rental license violations. The town also performed 22 rental inspections during the month of March. Planning Commission report and the EDC report are one and the same. The Planning Commission held a joint meeting with the Economic Development Commission. Gary Hodge spoke about economic development, followed by an open discussion on the topic. All right, let's see if we can make out the writing here. Fire Chief. Fire Chief is teaching an out-of-county course tonight. No one else is available to give the report. For the month of February, the department responded to the following: 34 fire responses, 10 first due within the town limits, 24 mutual aid to other areas in Charles and Prince George's County, 35 emergency medical calls, and they performed 150 hours of training. For the month of March, they responded to 26 fire responses, 13 first due within the town, 13 mutual aid, 32 emergency medical, and they performed a whopping 175 hours of training. Last but not least, spring training. Ooh, baseball is on the mind. Spring cleaning and chemical trash. Please do not put in your regular household trash. The department is always looking for people to help the community and possibly save lives. If interested, please stop by the fire station on Thursday nights and talk to a member or an officer about joining the organization. Yes, sir.
I've got a couple of questions. One on the code enforcement report. Are the 22 rental inspections associated with 22 of the 26 rental license violations, or were they in addition to those?
They were in addition to that.
And then a comment on the spring cleanup. This past weekend was the first household hazardous waste pickup or collection at the Public Works Department across the road from Laurel Springs Park at the Public Works facility. So if you have any household cleaners, butane lighters that are expired, batteries, etc., ink cartridges, etc., you can take them over to La Plata at the Public Works Department on Radio Station Road, and they'll take them at no charge. I went over there last Saturday morning, and it wasn't very busy at all. I got in and out without a wait. I can't guarantee that'll be the case every Saturday morning, but the pickup is on the first Saturday of each month from now till October and November. So please don't put those kinds of things in our trash pickup on twice a week, but save them and take them to the county on the first Saturday of each month. Yes.
Concerning the hazardous waste pickup, we've been saving aerosol paint cans because don't think they should be in the trash, but you didn't mention them. I'm wondering if they are take them to the hazardous waste pickup.
You should take them to the hazardous waste pickup.
Right.
I took some over there last Saturday.
Okay, good. The other thing is concerning, could somebody please give a little bit fuller account of the discussion that went on at the EDC Planning Commission meeting? I know there was an account in the paper, but I've also learned too that you can't trust what's in the paper, so I'd like to hear from you guys.
Gary Hodge came in and discussed some options and some thinkings and some things that he thought the town could do to try to help stimulate some economic development within the town limits. So it bounced that around for a little bit, and then the EDC members and the Planning Commission discussed ways that they could help as well. Planning and zoning wise, zoning issues, how could they help deal with some of that? And then the EDC on what things they should be trying to bring to the town and how can they help facilitate growth in the town.
And how did these blend in with our Trail Town initiative?
How did they blend in?
Now, how did it fit in with the...
I mean, we all know that that's something that's going to attract people to the town. And it kind of blend in with our connector trail and our trailhead plaza. So they were discussing things around the trail, but not necessarily everything was trail oriented.
The overall economic development agenda or policy will include the trail and the plaza, but it will be larger than that and include other economic development as well.
Is there any discussion concerning uses for Eli and the CVS food line or CVS supermarket sites?
We've talked about some general things, but we haven't gotten down to those kinds of specifics yet. We're still trying to get in touch with, or get an audience with the guy from CVS Superfresh property. We're in the process of scheduling a meeting with the Eli's on the Eli property. And at this point, that probably won't happen until after they get back from their Passover holidays.
Also, one last thing, any updates on the Walmsley property?
We took him to court, filed a court action, got negotiated in a consent agreement between Walmsley and the town of Indian Head. Took that over to the judge. He ratified it, so now it's a court order, court consent order. If Walmsley doesn't comply with the specific requirements in there and the specific schedule in that consent order, he will be held in contempt of court. Yeah. I don't know whether he started any actions yet or...
No, our first inspection won't be till this week, but we've got consent orders on all 3 properties, and he has to bring the properties up to the minimum building standards. So, some back and forth, but we got what we wanted.
And you've probably seen the property on Poplar Avenue has been remediated. So we're lining up the next 4 to go after. Where are we on the agenda?
Community affairs.
Yeah, Karen will be here.
Community affairs, Karen isn't here tonight, so we'll hold that until next month. Charles County Recreation, we have again Robbie Solomon.
Good evening, everyone. I have a few things. It's kind of the calm before the storm. We're about to get swamped with opening up the 3 outdoor pools.
Don't mention storms, please.
We're done with storms. We're done with storms. Calm before the rush, I should say.
Okay.
This coming Thursday, we have our second biggest event at the Lackey Pool. It's our underwater egg hunt. It's not all underwater, but we have an Easter bunny comes around, hangs out on the deck. Kids can spend some time with them. We do an egg hunt in the pool. We have both floating and sinking eggs. It goes from the 0 depth entry all the way out to the deep end for the older kids. We break it up into different age groups, so the smaller kids are not overrun by the older kids. I believe it's only a $4 admission. That gets you in. It gets you a little craft, gets you the opportunity to enter in one of our little prize drawing things. And it's an hour and a half long, 6:30 till 8:30 p.m. The egg hunts will actually start at 7, but we encourage everybody to get there early so they can kind of take advantage of everything that we're offering that evening. That is this week. Next week, I'm sure that everybody's aware that Charles County's spring break was changed. They took back Monday and Tuesday, so that kind of threw a little bit of a monkey wrench in our plans, but we, instead of having spring breaks from Monday through the following Monday, Easter Monday, we're now going to do Wednesday through the following Monday. We're open from 1 to 8 during the week, so Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Monday. We're open 1 to 8. Anybody who shows up before 4 p.m. will get in for $2. You're welcome to stay all the way until 8 p.m. if you show up before 4 and pay that $2 or whatever you want to do. We'll have lap swimming available. We have lots of different activities going on at that point, but for the most part, it's just open swim. Kids can come play basketball or do whatever they'd like to do. During that time, we had a lifeguard class scheduled. The lifeguard class had to be adjusted, so now we're going to have a class there's 2 classes in a row. There's going to be one during the week of spring break. The Tuesday evening, we're going to go from 4 to 9 p.m. And then Wednesday and Thursday, we're going to have some extended days. It's going to be 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Those are going to be taking a toll on me. But we'll get those classes in. We'll get a bunch of kids certified and hopefully be able to keep everybody safe all summer long. If that class is not one that works for your schedule, we have another one the following weekend. I have the date here. But it's a Friday evening and then a long day Saturday and Sunday as well. That class is April 25th through 27th. Those classes cost, I believe the charge is $200 for a Charles County resident. And that'll get you everything included in becoming certified. And then you'll be able to go and obtain employment through one of the companies around here, whether it be us or one of the ones that deals with the neighborhood pools. That, I believe, is the important stuff I wanted to go over. Does anybody have any questions for me? Sir?
Red Cross certified?
Yes, sir. Nothing else? All right.
Thank you, Robbie. Next, we have the community policing report. Officer Elliott, please.
Good evening, everybody. Of course, as the weather gets warmer, everybody look out for more children coming out. Also, everybody's been doing an excellent job of anything they witness, anything they see, anything they think is suspicious by contacting the sheriff's office. We've been doing a very good job with that. Also, with large groups of kids out playing ball, we've had people call to make sure kids are staying out of the streets and being respectful, which is awesome. And for the most important part, the person that makes it possible for me to be here is here tonight. So what I'd like to introduce is our sheriff, Sheriff Rex Coffey.
He's a character now. You didn't have to get all dressed up for me either, Lee. Well, it's good to see everyone. I wanted to come over this afternoon and just say a few words to you. This is such a funny world, and I'll just give you an example of that. I haven't seen Jim Wheeler there for a while, and who do I see on Saturday morning in Walmart? And there he is. We went to college together, and so it's kind of funny, and we won't talk about what happened because that's a whole other horse for another story. But at any rate, I want to just come over and reassure you over here in Indian Head that you matter to us, you matter to me, and that we are working out an arrangement. Dennis, our mayor, is kind enough to be a participant in that, and the town manager, and actually the whole town group are working on how we can get a facility back here in Indian Head. And of course, as you know, we didn't leave just for the sake of leaving. We had a mold issue in our building, so we had to vacate the place, and what a headache it has been for us, you can't even imagine. So we're currently working on a station in Bryan's Road, but as I said, we're working out something so we can have a place down here in Indian Head. Also, while I was here, I got a few minutes to chat with the two scout leaders that are here, and I see scouting and church as two of the biggest things that we can do for young people in this life, to get them on the road to straight and narrow and to being successful. And while I wasn't a scout growing up, I was telling them, I was involved with the scouts pretty heavily. My dad knew a scout troop, and they used to camp down at our place. So I interacted with them every week or weekend or the summer, whenever they were at our place, and I interacted right along with them as if I was a scout. So I feel like it made a difference in my life and opened up my eyes. And I was also mentioning to them that, as they know, I get to quite a few Eagle Scout ceremonies and some Boy Scout shows right here in this room. And just the year before last, I believe it was, the valedictorian for North Point was a kid that I had attended his Eagle Scout ceremony. And it just shows the potential. This kid is, in addition to just about being a genius, the guy had a sense of humor like you wouldn't believe. He had the whole gymnasium in stitches. And so it just shows what these kids have the potential to be. And the point of that conversation is that We talked briefly, and I'm going to work with Lee and see what we can do to muster some interest in scouting here in Indian Head. While I played football growing up and was actually pretty daggone good at playing football, we all know that going to college to play college football and certainly to become a professional football player, the long shot is very long. So what we need to do is convey to those family members that while that is a good thing to get the kids involved in sports, that by getting them involved in Scouts, it gives them a lot better opportunity to be more rounded and to make a difference in their lives. And also that we can change the behavior of kids just simply by letting them interact. And it also will lead, I think, to more volunteers for the fire department. While that's a slow process, I feel like, in the 7.5 years that I've been a sheriff, I see some change occurring. And so I always believe that change is good and the right formula. So I think I've said enough words. Thank you for all having me, and it's nice to see everyone. Thanks again. Now, bye-bye.
Thank you, Rex. We have no briefings. We have one ordinance this evening. Ordinance number 03-01-14, an ordinance concerning utility charges, late payment charge. Annie, would you read the ordinance, please?
Ordinance number 03-0